Hello, I'm checking in. It is December 2023. It's right before the holidays. So, happy holidays, first of all, season's greetings, all that good stuff. Um, Even if you don't celebrate the holidays, I'm just saying greetings. So, this is the eighth year that I have been fighting for the Exonerate Michael Christopher Blocker campaign. And Michael has been serving about 16 years for this. So we did get the trial transcripts released in 2021 for the 2008 trial. And although everything normally that we saw in there, pretty much he's innocent as far as the rape is concerned, but the state of Georgia is being difficult. They're saying that even though the woman admits on oath that she was not hurt, that does not necessarily mean that there was not unwanted sexual intercourse. So it's possible, they are basically saying it's possible that rape happened, but he did not hurt her. That's basically what Georgia, Augusta, Georgia state is saying. And so the trial transcripts apparently is not enough for this capital punishment case, life without parole, is not enough to undo this capital punishment sentencing. Now, the judge who was over the oversight of this particular case is retiring this year. Yay! But the he's still wrongfully incarcerated. So what I want to do, we do have an angle, which I will address at the end of this video. But what I want to do is to go ahead and share my personal rape and kidnapping story so that Georgia can understand from a actual rape and kidnap survivor how hurt and rape go together. So yeah, I want to explain that because most of us feel like hurt and rape go together. There are probably some. I'm gonna give you some times where there may be an exception to that. So like if you're dating somebody or in a marriage or in some sort of serious relationship with somebody, there are times when one partner may not want to be sexually intimate with the other. And that partner keeps pressing and pressing and pressing, and you finally give in, and just, it's just is what it is. So I would consider that okay, unwanted sexual intercourse, but do I consider that rape? No, I don't consider that rape. It's it's just unwanted sexual intercourse. So I get that that's a possibility, but the situation with my cousin and this rape case, it was a stranger connection, like a stranger situation. So, and he was never known for any type of sexual deviance or anything like that. Burglary and walking through an open door, seeing an opportunity to get merchandise. Okay, that probably happened. Evidence shows supports that happened. So, okay, we're not going to debate stolen goods, burglary, all that stuff. We are specifically talking about the rape. So, back to me. So the situation on December 13th of 1990, that was the third sexual assault by my assailant, who was at that time a coworker, a friend. Boundaries had been crossed, and I was just very new to the whole sex topic, sexual experience. That's because I was brought up very conservative and very sanctified. And this particular guy took advantage, this assailant took advantage of that. It was kind of, I guess, a thrill for him to, it was, I don't know, is a notch on the belt. I don't know how to explain it, but needless to say, on December 13th of 1990, which it was not the first assault on me, but it was the most intense one. And although physically, I would say my body may not have shown the trauma or the abuse, but you also have to remember or know that he was a serial rapist. I have had at least one person from 1987 that had experienced a very traumatic experience with him as well. So he is a serial rapist, and one of the reasons why I think, he's not willing to go to court is because I'm not going to be the only skeleton in his closet. And I mean, you see how the celebrity stuff is playing out. When people have sexual issues, a lot of times it's not just one. It's multiple people. And so that's why I'm saying, like, with my cousin, the rape didn't happen. He wanted merchandise or whatever. Rape and burglary or rape and stealing usually don't go together. It's like, give me the stuff and let me get out of here. That's usually what happens. But because Georgia is so special and they want to put this together, back to me again. So on that night in 1990, that was so intense because I'm going to go ahead and say his name because it is what it is. You know what? I'm not going to say his name. You can look it up. I have it out there online. But my assailant, I guess he knew it's some sort of military maneuver or something where you can actually put your hand into the shoulder or joint somewhere and you can cause pain without causing injury. So you have to be experienced to even know how to do the maneuver. I don't even know what it's called. I haven't looked it up, but it's a way to control the person without causing or showing injury. So every time I resisted the sexual assault, he would go back to the pressure point and get me under control. And every time I would resist, go back to the pressure point. And then it just got to a point where I knew, it hurt when he did that. So I didn't have a choice. So the rest of my story is out there online. It has been published. So even though my body technically wouldn't show bruises, I was hurt. No, he was not a stranger, but I was hurt. I was hurt. So I reported it. It got expunged because of apparently a deal that I didn't understand. So I was of age, but the deal wasn't made with me. So it is what it is. So I don't know what the deal was, but whatever deal it was, is it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. Um, I will also say that the trauma that my body experienced collectively through the at least three encounters that I had to endure with him did affect my marriage. So I was not able to be a wife. And I probably shouldn't have been married at that point because I didn't really connect the whole sexual responsibility in the marriage. I was just ignorant, naive of that situation, but that did affect me in within the marriage that I was in during that time. After the rape, after the rape, I was, I guess, trying to find like solace in a relationship where I could kind of heal and finish out my college and try to um, just well, I was scared. I was still scared because he is violent, or and yeah, he is. So his past supports the violence. Again, I'm talking about my assailant, someone who I survived. So I'm saying that that person's violent, that they are probably still walking on the street. People try to protect violent people. You see this with celebrities, right? You see it with celebrities, powerful people. They're connect people who have connections or what have you. The black woman is not necessarily always supported. Just women in general, we are not necessarily supported when we are being violated. So I'm on here to explain to Augusta, Georgia, that a stranger rape situation, the person would have to be hurt. So for the person to say that they were not hurt means that the rape didn't happen. But as I promised, as I have stated since 2015, the DNA report is missing the results of the internal vaginal DNA testing. So they took internal vaginal and then it said external. Now, external, I don't know if it's the hands. I don't know where, I'm not exactly sure, but it's showing the match from an external standpoint. And assuming that DNA transfers, is the external doesn't surprise me. And our attorneys agree the external is not connected to the rape. We need internal vaginal results. Now, based on the screening, they found male DNA, but the only thing that showed up was external. That's all that was in the report is external DNA. It was not in the vagina. It was external. Now, obviously, if there was, when they tested the internal, if there was a match, it should be in the report. But it's not in the report. But, Georgia, as difficult as they're trying to be, they're not wanting to conclude that because it wasn't in the report, which they would have been happy it was, but because it wasn't in the report doesn't mean that it didn't exist. So we are trying to get a supplemental DNA report surrounding the 2007 Walton Way, Augusta, Georgia capital punishment sentencing case for Michael Christopher Blocker. So we are waiting to get supplemental DNA report for the internal vaginal DNA typing. So we want to confirm so we can take it back to Georgia, to Augusta, Georgia, and say, hello, no internal vaginal DNA match Michael. Can you please let him out? And then we'll go from there. So that's where we are. So I have shared to you my story. So my rape and kidnapping was Asheville, North Carolina, Asheville, and it's interesting. By me having to fight this case for my cousin, I actually realized that me as the survivor, I am your primary witness, Asheville, North Carolina, that you have a serial rapist that was in your midst. And if he's brought to justice, or when he's brought to justice, there will be people, survivors like me, from other counties, other people is out there, So, I'm focused on my cousin's case right now, but I have not forgotten. My body hadn't forgotten. I haven't forgotten. So, just taking one case at a time. All right. It's about 17 minutes. Have a good one.